Hi guys, my name's Tatiana Medintsova and you are on my crochet channel. Today we will finish crocheting this cute giraffe. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet. Here you will find many simple and understandable masterclasses on crocheting toys. If you would like the patterns in PDF format, you can purchase them from my Etsy shop. Links in the description under the video. Now I will show you how to crochet a giraffe's ear. I have already made one ear for the giraffe. Now I'll show you how to make the second ear. We start with yellow. We make a loop and 2 chain stitches, and in the first stitch we make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the second row we make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and so on until the end of the row. We can do this 3 times. At the end of the row there will be 9 single crochets. If necessary, place a marker. We make 1 single crochet and now 1 increase in the first time. 1 single crochet is 4 and 1 increase is 5, 6. 1 single crochet is 7 and 1 increase is 8, 9. The second row is done. In the third row we make 2 single crochets and 1 increase, and do this until the end of the row. We can do this 3 times. At the end of the row there will be 12 single crochets. 1, 2 and 1 increase is 3, 4. 5, 6 and 1 increase is 7, 8. 9, 10 and 1 increase is 11, 12. Turn it right side out. We hide the ends of the thread inside. In the fourth row we make 3 single crochets and 1 increase, and do this until the end of the row. We can do this 3 times. At the end of the row there will be 15 single crochets. I'm just showing how we crochet the fourth row. It's simple. The fourth row is ready. In the fifth and sixth row we make 15 single crochets in each row. And you'll need to add some brown color. This is what the ear will look like. Make 1 single crochet in yellow. Now take brown yarn and make the next single crochet in brown. Insert the hook into the next stitch. Grab the brown yarn and make 1 single crochet. Tie the threads together into a knot, but don't cut anything. And continue further. Two, 3, 4, 5. Now we have already made 5 single crochets, 1 in yellow and 4 in brown. To the end of the row, 10 single crochets. We crochet in yellow. There is no need to tighten the threads so that the ear does not tighten. To the end of the row we make 10 single crochets in yellow. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The fifth row is done. Now we make the sixth row, also 15 single crochets. At the beginning of the row, make 1 single crochet in yellow. Now 4 single crochets in brown. 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to see how many single crochets we do in yellow. Until the end of the 6th row, we make 10 single crochets in yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is how the ear turned out at the moment. This is such beauty. In the 7th row, we make 3 single crochets and 1 decrease, and so on until the end of the row. We can do this 3 times. At the end of the row, there will be 12 single crochets. We make 1 single crochet in yellow. Now we continue to crochet in brown. This is 2, 3, and make 1 decrease. I insert the hook completely into this stitch, take out the thread, into the next stitch, also take out the thread, and crochet it. This is called a decrease. We use yellow yarn until the end of the row. 1, 2, 3, and 1 decrease. Here I make a decrease through front of loop. This is the second time. 1, 2, 3, and 1 decrease. This is the third time. We repeated this combination 3 times in total. In the 8th row, we make 2 single crochets and 1 decrease, and do this 3 times just until the end of the row. At the end of the row, there will be 9 single crochets. Make 1 single crochet in yellow. The next single crochet we make in brown. That's 2. And we make 1 decrease. This is the first time. Now we make 1 more single crochet in brown. And then we continue to crochet in yellow. 2. And we make 1 decrease. This is the second time. And the last time the combination. 1 single crochet, the second single crochet, and make 1 decrease. This is the third time. Please note, even if you crochet in brown in some other way, it will still be beautiful. On the first tier, I don't remember exactly how I used brown yarn. About the same, but still beautiful. In the 9th row, we make 9 single crochets. 1 single crochet at the beginning of the row we make in yellow. Now in brown. 2, 3, 4. Total 3 single crochets are made in brown. We crochet until the end of the row in yellow. This is the 5th single crochet. 6, 7, 8, 9. In the 10th row, we make 9 single crochets in yellow. This is the last row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In the next stitch we will make a slip stitch. Look at the ear to make sure we like everything. Cut the brown thread almost completely, leaving a small end. In the yellow yarn, leave the end long enough to later sew the ear to the giraffe's head. Pull out the end of the yellow yarn, and at the end I finish making the ear and collect the thread. Insert the end of the yellow thread into the needle. Hide the brown yarn inside the ear. We thread the needle and thread through the stitches to then tighten the lower part of the ear. I thread the needle through the outer stitches at the bottom of the ear and then tighten the thread. This makes the bottom of the ear appear more rounded rather than flat. The lower part of the ear turned into a tube. Now the ear can be sewn to the giraffe's head. But before that, let me show you how to make horns for a giraffe. We thread the thread to the very bottom of the ear. These two ears are ready for a giraffe. I show you from the front and back. Now we will make horns for the giraffe. The hook is the same, number 4 mm. We start in brown. Let's start as usual, loop and 2 chain stitches, and in the first chain stitch we make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the second row we make 6 increases. In each stitch there are 2 single crochets. At the end of the row there will be 12 single crochets. The second row is ready. In the third row we make 1 single crochet and 1 increase, and do this until the end of the row. We can do this 6 times. At the end of the row there will be 18 single crochets. In the fourth row we make 18 single crochets. Ready, turn it right side out. In the fifth row we make 1 single crochet and 1 decrease, and so on until the end of the row. We can do this 6 times. At the end of the row there will be 12 single crochets. Ready. In the sixth row we make 2 single crochets and 1 decrease, and so on until the end of the row. We can do this 3 times. At the end of the row there will be 9 single crochets. We make 2 single crochets and 1 decrease. This is the first time. Again 2 single crochets and 1 decrease. This is the second time. And 2 single crochets and 1 decrease. This is the third time. From the 7th to the 10th row inclusive, 4 rows, we make 9 single crochets in each row, in yellow. We attached the yellow yarn as we usually do. Simply crochet the next single crochet in yellow. Tie a knot and cut the brown yarn. We finish 4 rows of 9 single crochets in yellow. This is what the workpiece looks like now. We make a slip stitch in the next stitch, cut the thread, leaving the end long enough to sew the head. Add filler. The second horn for the giraffe is crocheted in the same way. The giraffe's horns are ready. Using a needle, sew the ears and horns to the giraffe's head. I sew the horns to the head in the position shown on the screen. And we sew the ears near the horns. Sew the ears almost close to the horns. I won't show you, I'm sure everyone can handle it on your own. We leave free empty space between the horns, since we will make the mane here later. Therefore, we leave a little space for the mane. So on the ear at eye level, we sew the ear not in a vertical position, but so that the ear is directed to the side. That is, the ear is sewn almost horizontally. We sew all the details ourselves. I will do this too and show the result. We sew in a circle as we usually do. In almost every masterclass, I show how parts are sewn to the head. This is how I managed to sew the ears and horns to the giraffe's head. This is what it looks like from the back. This is the view from above. There are 8-9 stitches between the horns. I got such a cool giraffe. Now I will show you how to design brown spots and nostrils. Take a needle with brown yarn. We insert a needle at the bottom of the muzzle and pull it out in the place where the first nostril will be. I hold the thread with my thumb, thus forming a nostril. I insert the needle again at the bottom of the nostril and pull the needle under the thread at the top. In this way, we create the desired shape of the nostril. The nostril can be made either larger or smaller. Everyone makes it to your own taste. A kind of loop has been made here, and now we need to fix the upper part of the thread. Therefore, we thread the thread over the nostril and then use a needle to go to the second nostril. This is how we made the first nostril. Thread the thread to the lower part of the future nostril. We form a loop. Insert the needle again at the bottom of the nostril and exit at the top. Now we thread the thread again to the first nostril and pull the thread the second time to secure the upper part of the loop. This way the loops will stick better. Return to the second nostril. Fix the loop of the second nostril and then pull the needle and thread into the lower part of the muzzle. The giraffe's nostrils are ready. Using a needle, you can straighten the loops to make the nostrils more voluminous. Now I'll show you how we make spots. Needle, brown yarn. We insert the needle in the place where we want to make a brown spot. Leave a small end of the thread. Pull the needle and thread through 2 stitches. Leave the brown yarn outside and pull it through 2 stitches again. The thread has already been laid once, now we need to do it one more time. Tighten the thread. One spot is ready. Now let's move on to the next spot. I pulled the thread 4 times, it turned out like a heart. For each spot I make 3 or 4 stitches. Thread the thread along the outer part of the giraffe's arm several times. Inserting the needle and pulling it out doesn't have to be straight. You can make the spot uneven. You can see that I insert the needle through several stitches. In this way, we embroider spots wherever you like. After the required number of spots have been made, we return to the beginning to the other end of the thread. Pull the needle into the same stitch. You need to pull the needle and thread into the same stitch. You can see that the ends of the thread come out from one stitch. We tie a knot. Cut off the excess thread. Using a hook, we hide the ends of the thread inside the giraffe's arm. Pull the hook into the same stitch, grab the ends of the thread and hide them together with the knot inside. These are the spots I managed to make on the giraffe's arm. The spots need to be made on the arms, legs and body of the giraffe. This is what my giraffe looks like with the spots done. I don't make spots on the back because there will be a mane. Now I'll show you how we make a tail for a giraffe. We make the tail completely in yellow. We make a loop and 2 chain stitches, and in the first stitch we make 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the second row we make 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn it right side out. Hide the end of the thread inside. Now we need to make 5 single crochets, but I don't remember how many rows. I don't know how many rows I need to make. I'll do it now and tell you. We will sew the tail at the level of the legs. It is necessary that the tail extends approximately to the end of the legs. At the end of the tail we will make a characteristic tassel using fluffy yarn. Now I will make a tail, count the number of rows and tell you. I made a tail up to the 23rd row inclusive of 5 single crochets in each row. Slip stitch and cut the thread. Pull and tighten the thread. Now let's sew the tail to the giraffe's body. The tail is sewn at the level of the legs in the middle. You can see that the length of the tail is such that the tail ends at the level of the legs. So, as usual, in a circle. And we have very little left to do. This is how I managed to sew the tail to the giraffe's body. This is such a cool giraffe. Already a cool toy. I squeeze the sole of the giraffe's feet and distribute the filler so that the foot is slightly flattened. Repeat the same operation with the arms, squeeze. It's very beautiful, I like it. Even if you don't do the mane, it still turns out cool. I found the yarn number. It was almost either faded or worn out. Yarn number 265. Now I'll tell you and show you how we make a giraffe's mane. First, I recommend making one row exactly in the middle. Then go back along one side and down one more time along the other side. Do 3 times in total. First time I made a mane too wide. It also looks beautiful, so it's optional. Now I want to make the mane narrower. We attach a thread on the head in the place where the mane will begin. Pull out the thread. The mane can be made using single crochets or slip stitches. Now I'll think about how it will be better. Insert the hook into the next stitch. Grab the working thread. I don't remember how I made the mane, with slip stitches or single crochets. Let's make a slip stitch. Insert the hook into the next stitch. We straighten the thread so that the pile is on the outside in one direction and doesn't get tangled. It is necessary that this thread be laid out now. The slip stitch is made. This is how we sew on the mane. We inserted the hook into the stitch again, grab the working thread and make a slip stitch. Showing and doing is simple, easier than explaining. Something went wrong here. The thread came off the hook. In this way we'll crochet the mane to the end. We make these slip stitches. The number of slip stitches corresponds to the desired length of the mane. My giraffe's mane will be made to approximately arm level. Now I'll show you what the mane should look like. This is what it should look like. The hairstyle is called mohawk. We finish the mane to the end to the level of the arms. Always make sure that the mane is located in the middle, symmetrically. I'll also finish the first row now and show you the result. I finished the first row of my giraffe's mane all the way down to the bottom. You can see that my giraffe's mane has shifted, but I won't redo it, it's okay. Looks very nice. Now we make the second row of the mane next to the first row and go back up. You can return on any side. Also control the width of the mane yourself. Make as many rolls as you want. To return, I insert my hook into the next stitch on the side. We grab the thread, pull the thread and make a slip stitch. Now we need to crochet in such a way that these threads are as close as possible. If I put the thread on the left side, the two seams will be too close and it won't look good. Therefore, we always need to control that the working thread with its threads lies closer to the finished main. We lay the working thread closer to the finished part of the main. Level the working thread as shown on the screen. The threads on the working thread should lie on the made main. We begin crocheting in the next row. Here you can see the row already made. In the next row we make the second row of the main. Using slip stitches we go back. We grab the thread with a hook from this side. We always straighten the working thread so that the threads on the working thread are directed upward. In this way we move along the adjacent row. This is how I grab the working thread. One more slip stitch has been made. In general, this main is very easy to crochet, but the toy is very far from me. I need to show you on camera how this is done. The main thing is that you always need to level the working thread. We make slip stitch in each stitch. Now I will put the thread and show you how it works. The threads are located close to each other. Using a needle, pull out the stuck threads. Now I'll crochet a little more, so it will be easier to see. You can see that there are no spaces, no empty spaces. The threads are located tightly, next to each other. Let me remind you that this is the main that is obtained thanks to the fact that we direct the thread in the second row to the already finished part of the main. I continue to finish the second row. Here I have already crocheted to the beginning of the main. At this stage I have pulled out the thread for now. I want to show you the result. Here on the top of the head everything turned out smooth and symmetrical. On the giraffe's neck, the mane moved a little to the side. Now I want to correct the situation a little. We crochet the third row in exactly the same way. The principle is the same. We place the threads on the working thread closer to the finished part of the mane. And along the adjacent row, we will make another row of slip stitches. We do everything the same, only we always check and correct the working thread. The working thread should be positioned exactly like this. To straighten the mane, I want to crochet halfway through the back of the head on this side. The ends of the thread can then be hidden. This is all easy to do. And then continue to make the mane on the other side until the end. So I crochet to the middle of the head, then I cut the thread and finish making the mane on the other side. To give the edge of the mane a beautiful appearance, we take a needle with a blunt end and additionally pull out the threads. Pulled threads will help correct the situation and create a beautiful edge of the mane. This is how I get every thread. I do it wherever I can. Thanks to this, the mane will turn out beautiful and neat. It takes time, but the mane will become much more beautiful and will take on a finished, neat look. I just remembered that I will still be finishing the mane on this side. It's enough to pull out the threads only on the outer rows. We finish styling the mane ourselves. This is the mane I managed to create on my giraffe. This is how beautiful it turns out. As I told you, I tried to get all the threads with a needle. The edge of the mane is processed on both sides. This is how beautiful it turned out in the end. Now we need to make a tassel at the end of the tail. We start from the very edge of the tail. Attach the working thread. We do everything the same. On the tail we make a tassel for 3 rows. This is how I lay out the working thread and use the same principle to make a tassel. We completely crochet the lower part of the tail. Use slip stitches. We move along the row. I make a tassel for 3 rows, you can do as you like. 3 rows are made in one direction. Now we turn around and crochet in the opposite direction. We always lay the threads on the working thread to the already made part. and simply insert the hook into the stitches of the adjacent row. We do everything the same as we did the main. In this way, we crochet completely in a circle and make a characteristic tassel. I managed to make such a tassel at the end of the tail. A very convenient thread for crocheting a mane and fluffy tail. All we have to do is decorate the eyes. Take any suitable yarn. I'm currently using Jeans Plus yarn. Number 70. Any yarn is suitable for decorating the eyes. By the way, I didn't tighten my first giraffe, but I'm looking at this one here and will probably do a little tightening of the eyes. We insert the needle from the side near the eye at a short distance. Leave a small end of the thread. Leave the thread outside and now thread the needle to the second eye. Pull and tighten the thread. We make exactly the same row near the second eye. Check that everything is smooth and symmetrical. Now we choose a place and thread the thread to the place where you need to embroider the giraffe's eyebrow. We leave the thread outside, this is the first eyebrow, and now we thread the needle to the other side to make the second eyebrow. After two eyebrows are made, we thread the thread to the lower part of the head so that we can tighten it later. Tighten the thread a little between the eyes, making a tightening in this way. This is what we do to tighten the eyes. Let me remind you that I didn't do such a tightening on my first giraffe, therefore it's according to your test. A small tightening has been done. We need to finish now. The toy is large, it's difficult to rotate the toy in front of the camera, so you can see everything what I'm doing. If everything fits and you like it, we pull the thread into the same stitch where we started. I missed a little. It is imperative that the ends of the thread come out of the same stitch. Now we tie a knot. Hide the ends of the thread inside. Cut off the excess. This is how I cut the thread. Hide the ends of the thread inside using a hook. We have such a beautiful giraffe. If you liked this masterclass, be sure to write comments and like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done it yet. I'll show you some more footage of the finished giraffe. See you soon in new videos. Bye bye!